Thank you, everybody. Welcome to another interview. I'm Game Show Fan 2001, and my guest here is a guy I've known for years and years and years and years. Although we didn't really started talking too much until last fall. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the best rap star in Alabama you've never heard of, EKWesco.
How are you guys doing? Oh man. Oh, dude, it's been a random day at work. I was working all day, dude.
But where do you work? We don't know that.
I build trawl doors for shrimp boats. I don't know if anybody watching this is going to be familiar with that unless they're from around my area, but yeah, shrimp boats.
There you go. Not bad. A shrimp boat worker who makes rap music on the internet as a side gig.
Kind of runs in the family, like the shrimp and not the music.
Oh. I was gonna say, are you one of those people that comes from a big musical family? But
semi, but a lot of them really just don't like. I have the type of family that every time they hear me sing or somebody plays one of my songs, everybody wants to be like, "Oh yeah, he got that from me." Like that was all me. No.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I guess we'll start off the interview like I do everything else. So, should I call? Would you prefer EK or Kyle? Because I know your real name.
I guess EK for the sake of the video.
Okay. So, tell us, how did you get your start as a rap artist?
As far as making the actual music, like I've literally always, like since I can remember, been like very infatuated with like singing and playing drums and stuff. Like since I was probably 2. We got old home videos of me playing when I was like this tall. Like, I didn't come up with the name until like 4th grade, something like that. I was about 8, 9.
Oh wow. Now, who are some of your main influences?
Eminem, of course. Anybody that knows me knows I have the hugest fascination with Eminem. I've really liked the music that XXX Tentacion was putting out till he was tragically taken away.
Yes.
A lot of rock stuff too. Like I have a really big, heavy rock background in like some country, but not much. Like the classic people, like not the new people.
Johnny Cash, anything?
Oh yeah. Raymond loves Johnny Cash too, a lot.
Oh yes, because I think the first time I ever saw your YouTube page many years ago was I wanted to see what people's Eminem collection looked like, and I think yours was the first one I saw.
I feel like that's common for me, like because like I was telling you earlier, like my most viewed videos are like unboxings and reviews, because that's what I was doing a lot on YouTube. I was looking at people's Eminem collections because that's what I was infatuated with. Because my collection back then was like this tall, right. So I was like, bruh, where do people get all this stuff? And then I started getting on Amazon and eBay, and now I have a ginormous collection. Like I have a record store in my room.
Yeah. One of my, I don't know, do you have this one right here?
I have that on CD.
Oh. Well, I got that on tape about either 5 or 6 years ago. It's hard to believe. I haven't bought a new Eminem thing in ages, but
I actually have, they remastered that Attack of the Weirdos because Bizarre got signed to a label that was with the old affiliate of Insane Clown Posse. And they remastered Attack of the Weirdos, which included Tribe Thieves, and they did really good. Like as far as the remaster goes, it was really good. Wish I could find that, but
yeah, I played this the tape in the car for my dad, and he was just like, "What the hell is this?" And I'm like, "Hey, this is one of Eminem's friends back before he was famous. It's really good."
Yeah, I can't imagine what people think when they listen to Bizarre unless they know what to expect.
Well, this is a bit more tame than the stuff he did recently, I would say.
Yeah, I don't like his recent albums at all. Bizarre is not M's. I love M's shit.
There's a big difference. And I know that if you follow Bizarre on Instagram, he do this live stream thing called My Strange Addictions. And he asked people, all you have to do is send a request to be in this video, he'll bring you on, but you only have to talk about your strange addiction. And I was watching him one time, and all these people on the chat were asking him, "Oh, can we talk to Eminem? Can you call Eminem right now? How's Eminem doing? Blah, blah, blah."
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I've never seen any of those, but I'm sure that would happen a lot to him.
And at least two guys came on, and Bizarre was like, "Welcome to the stream. What's your strange addiction?" Oh, I don't have a strange addiction. I just wanted to say I loved you with D12 and blah blah. And then he kicked them off. He was pissed. He was like, "We're not here to talk about music. I don't want to talk about Eminem. I don't want to talk about no D12 shit or nothing like that." Okay.
I bet he hears that a lot. Like a lot of people that are like somewhat lesser influences in a group, they probably always talk about that one guy. Like all the Funk Volume guys. Anytime somebody see, oh, when's the last time you talked to Hobson? Like, I bet they get that a lot.
Yes. That's must be annoying, but I feel bad for them because they're since the D12 disbanded, pretty much. So none of them have really done too much, but they're pretty good. Well, I know.
Yeah, they're still good.
Yeah, still good. And I know Kaniva liked one of my, at least one of my comments on his Facebook page about something. So
that's awesome. I still watch Kaniva and Swift, their little solo albums and stuff. They put out a tribute track about Proof not too long ago that was really good. I didn't even know it existed. It just randomly on Spotify one day was playing. I was like, hey.
Well, at least it's on Spotify.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can tell us how many albums or mixtapes, whatever you want to call it, how many of those do you have out right now?
A lot. Way too many. Does that count the ones that are deleted right now? Because if not, that's really not a high number.
How about tell us how many you deleted and then go how many are still there?
Oh, Lord. I got to go down the list. Oh, let's see. I was 12. I put out my first mixtape. I put out another one when I was 13, and another one when I was 14. And they basically all had the same name, just slightly different variations. Put out 2 mixtapes when I was 15. One when I was 16. I didn't put any out when I was 17. I put the one out, like the only one or the first one, the earliest one that's not deleted right now, I put out when I was 18 because I was figuring out like what I wanted to do. Like all of the stuff before I was 18, I feel like is cringe, or not all of it, but a very great percentage of it. Not really liking it.
Makes sense.
So after that one, this is 2015. I put out the one when I was 18. I don't think I put one out in 2016, but I put out a bunch of albums in 2017, like monthly. And I put out my first album in 2017 too, when I was 20.
Oh.
And I'm 23 now, if you didn't know. But I really haven't been keeping track of it, to be honest. That's why it's taken me so long to figure it out, because I just kind of drop the projects and then focus on the next thing. I really don't even remember what all I still have up.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
But I have a lot of material, like tons.
Glad to hear that. So what's the medium you can find most of the stuff on? Do you have it on CD or do you have it on SoundCloud or where else?
If you want to find everything in one place, the best place to go is Bandcamp. I've been putting the stuff that I can monetize, like on streaming services, like stuff that I've either produced myself or I've bought the rights for. And all the other stuff is just like free little stuff. Like if you like my music, you're probably gonna find it eventually. Like I'm not necessarily putting everything in everybody's faces. I focus on the albums, like the Spotify stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, David has asked you a question in the chat. He said, "What was the first song you ever did?"
Jeez. That is a good question, because I had to have been. I was 8 years old whenever I wrote my first song for the first time. Like all the other stuff was just me. I would dub tapes way back in the day. Like when I was like 5, 6, I used to dub tapes of me playing the drums and singing, but all of that was freestyle.
Okay.
And hold on, I might be able to find one. I'm not going to. That's going to waste time. But yeah, I used to dub tapes like on this little radio. It had a microphone on it, and you could switch it to CD too. So every now and then I'd be able to put an instrumental under my vocals, but it was hard. But first song I ever did. I really don't even remember what it sounded like, to be honest. All I know is that it was trash.
Yeah, based on what you said earlier, it probably wasn't that good.
Yeah, I don't.
Right. Okay, so what's now? If I'm not mistaken, you said you released an extended play today.
I was supposed to, but the timing with the distribution partners kind of didn't add up, so it's not out today. But the release date is supposed to be today. I didn't think it was gonna go up. I'm probably gonna post it on SoundCloud after we're done with this.
Okay, and that's on Bandcamp. You tried to post it before?
Oh no. Bandcamp is easy. Like I normally go through DistroKid to get my music on streaming services, iTunes and Spotify and all that. And but this go around, I'm using United Masters because something went weird with DistroKid. So basically, just switch distributors.
All right. But tell us, I remember many years ago you had there was this thing called DatPiff. Tell us what went wrong with DatPiff.
It just fell off the face of the earth, basically. Like it went through, you know how YouTube goes through like little phases of changes and people don't like it for a little while, but they get used to it.
Yeah, sure.
DatPiff did that, and they basically they wanted to be more artist friendly, but consequentially that made it less user friendly. So like say you're looking up a mixtape that you really want, like it just came out or something, you click on it thinking you're finna download it, and instead of download it says buy. It's like, man, and this music should be free. Like a lot of it the artists don't even own, so it sends you to a link to buy it, which doesn't make sense. So basically DatPiff fell off. Another mixtape came and basically replaced DatPiff. That Spinrilla is the name of that site. I'm not on it yet, but I will be. All my old mixtapes are still on DatPiff though. Like what I was just talking about, all that deleted stuff. If you really want to, you can find that on DatPiff.
Oh man. Yeah, DatPiff. It was supposed to be your authority in free mixtapes, and if you saw the buy option, it wouldn't even make any fucking sense.
Yeah, that went right out the window. That the mixtapes are not free anymore.
Yeah. A similar thing happened to another distribution service. It's called CD Baby.
I don't like them.
Yeah, but they quit selling albums. They just said we're gonna just sell accessories or hold on, let me look it up because
they did.
Yeah,
I haven't been with them for about 2 years now.
They took off all their albums. It's just
oh, that's crazy.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, I still got to buy all the copies from them of my first album so that I could put my first album on back on streaming services. Yeah, because like I said, I had two different switches. I switched from CD Baby to DistroKid because it's just a better deal. DistroKid is like way better all around. And another thing is CD Baby, like the K in my name has to be capital. Like, and they was not trying to help me at all with that. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go with DistroKid, and now the K is capital. So well, that's how that went.
Yeah, because I go on CD Baby. It said CD Baby retired our music store in March of 2020 in order to place our focus entirely on the tools and services that are most meaningful to musicians today and tomorrow.
That's ridiculous. I wonder if I don't know. I know I'm gonna have to buy the copies of my album back though before they still got like 4 or 5 copies of my album, and I want to buy that, have the physical copy so I can give them to people.
Oh, of course. And you've got physical copies of your stuff at the moment, right?
Oh yeah. I have physical copies of almost everything I put out since 2015. Almost.
Okay. And describe how does that process happen, because it's fascinating.
The process of making physical copies?
Yeah.
I use disc makers because the name has always been familiar with me. My great grandmother actually recorded a album of her reading off her poems, and she brought me to that studio one day, and that's how I had my first ever recording. But if you're curious, the recording was just a cover of me singing the Drake and Josh theme song. But nothing ever really came out of that. And but yeah, so like my great grandmother, when she was basically trying to teach me, like that's basically who I got my know-how from, not necessarily my talent. No disrespect if you're listening, but She used to write all these Christian poems, and she went to a studio somewhere in Mississippi to record them. And yeah, one day she brought me there and taught me a bunch of stuff. And I was like, hey, I like really wanted to do this. Like, if I didn't want to do this before, I really want to do it now. Actually, I have a picture right here. Hold on, let me get it.
All right.
Okay. This is me at 8 years old in a studio for the first time ever. That is my first ever recording session.
Very nice. That picture will be worth a lot when you're famous, you know.
Oh, I hope. Dog.
Wow.
You see my dog back here? She's tripping.
Oh, I see it. There you go.
Oh, man.
Now, another person I don't know if you were associated with him or not, but there was this guy who's kind of a comedian. He doesn't really post no more. It's MK from Ground Zero Online.
Yeah, me and him actually had kind of a falling out. Like, he finessed me out of some money, and I'm mad at him about that. But I got him on my previous album, like the one before, the one that I just dropped a few months ago. Okay. But yeah, the deal was I was gonna pay him to make a Loves video about me. MK Loves EKWesco was supposed to happen. I swear to God, on my life, bro, on everything I love, I paid this man.
Wow.
And he sends me a T-shirt, which was part of the deal. Like, he's like, if you, it was like $10 for the T-shirt, but he's like, if you pay me $100, I'll make a Loves video about you. And a bunch of people did that, not just me. And he only made one for one guy, and nothing ever came about it. So I just let it be, because I really don't even feel like wasting my time with him anymore. Like, back then he was like this figure and all that, like, but now he's not even, I feel like he lost his focus. He lost his drive, a lot of that.
Makes sense.
Dog, I'm gonna have to do something with you, fam. You can't be huffing and puffing all in my damn microphone, bro.
It doesn't sound, I don't hear it, but oh, that would have been interesting to see MK Loves EKWesco. I wonder how he would have made that.
I think the problem was he didn't know enough about me, so he probably thought that I was just some kid, just like everybody else. This is not even gonna have good music and stuff. So I feel like he probably didn't even look anything up about me. Like, I reminded him that I did that contest for him, that token one.
Oh yes.
And I was like top 10. And I remember he picked me himself, but he basically didn't even remember none of that. Like, when I talked to him, I was like, oh, well, anyway, when are you going to do the video? And it just never happened.
Because I remember that MK Loves Music contest.
Yeah, that was really fun. And I'm glad that opened the door for me and Token to be friends.
Oh, okay.
I still talk to Token every now and then, like through email. It's really hard to get in touch with him anywhere else.
Well, some of my favorite MK videos, if he's by chance listening to this, I really liked his videos on Chameleonaire, 2 Chainz, List of 99.
Coolio. I remember. I don't want to, but I think I'm going to have to turn on my AC for my dog, because she won't shut the hell up.
That's fine.
Okay, cool.
And his real name is, what's his real name? Matisse
Khan, I believe.
Oh, okay. How about that? All right, well, why don't you tell us who are some of the other rappers you usually associate with in your circle?
Well, you remember back in the day, because you've known me for a long time now, but you remember back in the day I was doing songs with a guy named Dr. Bullet.
Rings a bell.
He has evolved immensely, and he's changed his name and all that, but he's like really fire now, and me and him are working a lot together. And he introduced me to one of his friends from Chicago. His name is LP Rambo. He's really good. We've been working together too a lot. Dylan Kush, I don't know if you remember him. He used to be known as Pickle D back in the day.
Yes, I remember that.
He quit rapping, but he's like really good with the beats. Like he's been working with Kato on the track from Funk Volume formerly, and he's been making a lot of big moves lately, and I'm still working with him to this day.
We could have brought him along with this.
I don't know if he would have done it because he's a busy guy now. Like he's really busy.
No. Well, the only people I remember Scrooge Loose, and I remember Dorian or Dawson.
Yeah. That's Dr. Bullet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his name is D.D. Kane now.
Oh, okay.
And he just put out a really great album. It's called Stories of an Introvert. He made me do a skit on it.
Really?
I didn't get a verse. I'm kind of salty about that, but the skit was pretty good.
Really? And where can we find that one?
Spotify, anywhere.
Okay. I haven't talked to that guy in a long time.
Yeah, he's cool. That's my dog.
Yes.
That's my dog too, but
yeah. And for those that don't know, I did. Well, I know Kyle. I sent you this video. Me and two of my friends in the basement back here. We filmed a review/reaction thing to the Slim Shady LP, and
I watched that whole thing.
You watched the whole thing? Well, you were probably the only person that did. But how that was supposed to be for my friend's page, and then he was just like, I don't want to do these review videos. Dandy, do you want the footage so you can put it on your page? I'm like, hell yeah. So
might as well.
Put it all together. And the other day we were just talking about it, and he was like, who wants to watch a 40-minute video of three guys who you can barely hear talking about an album that came out 21 years ago? It's pretty funny.
There is an audience for it. I just feel like neither me nor you have really found that audience yet, because I kind of want to do a similar thing, just not as long.
Oh yeah. Yeah, personally, I prefer condensed reviews, like people like Anthony Fantano and guys like that. Yeah,
I don't agree with him most of the time, but he does make really good review videos.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I hate how he drags Hobson, bro. Like I'm like, why do you not like Hobson ever?
I liked his one. It was some I forget which album it was, but at the beginning it was just him and Cal Chichester just going swag. This is the best album ever, and then that was it.
Was it a Soulja Boy album?
Could be.
I feel like I saw that.
Yeah, I forget what it was, and I know I really like the videos he does where Cal tells about his favorite albums, and Anthony just can't fucking stand it.
Yeah, that's a funny little character that he's got. Like, I want to know how he came up with that character. Like, if that's a projection of something that he's experienced, like in a person, or what?
Could be.
That's pretty funny, though.
Wow. Now, when you do make your own physical mixtapes, how many copies do you usually make?
I was just pressing up like 10 or 20 most of the time. It depends if I have to, because back then I was using CD Baby, and CD Baby and Disc Makers were kind of like hand in hand. Like Disc Makers is the reason that I was even on CD Baby.
Okay.
Because when you're going through the process of making your physical copies, Disc Makers offers you the option inside of the process to for distribution, and it sends you straight to CD Baby. So that's how that happened. But yeah, basically I would have either 10, 15, or 20 copies. More than likely it would have been 15, but because of the times now, the whole coronavirus thing, they kind of forced me to do 50. So I have 50 copies of my album right here. But I feel like I'm gonna get them off because this is my favorite album for myself, and I don't normally like bragging about my music, but I really like this album.
And was that Listen Hard or Disregard?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I remember you telling me about that one.
Yeah.
Now, I got two of my most prized rare sealed M&M tapes here. First, we have this one, which I did sell you a used version of, and I hope it's still in good condition. But yeah, that's the old one. Right there. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that little contraption that you could use to fucking put tapes onto your computer in MP3 form.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do with this.
Good luck with that. And I know I have 2 copies of this. I have one sealed with and one sealed with the parental advisory sticker on it. It's just
You are a true collector, bro. Because I cannot leave anything sealed. I just can't. I have to listen to it.
Really? That's interesting.
I just can't, bro.
If you go on eBay, there's still a sealed copy of this, but it's $50. So
yeah,
that's good enough.
And I saw somebody selling a bundle of the new album with some of these tapes and a tape of one of the Up in Smoke performances. I was like, I've never seen that, like a cassette tape, not the VHS, because I used to watch the VHS. I got the DVD now, but I'm like, dude, I was like, how long have these existed? Because I've never seen one of these. I've
never heard of that, too. It's possibly it's like a home recording, someone they did themselves when they were at the concert.
I really hope not. Like, I hope it's soundboard audio. Like, that's the only thing that makes me not want to buy it, is because it's probably not soundboard audio.
That's interesting. And would it be the cassette of the same performance that's on the DVD, or would it be?
No. It's like one date. Like the video was like basically a documentary about the whole tour. Like it was basically the whole thing is made out to look like it's one night, but it's not. It's throughout the whole course of the tour.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. And I know that back when Eminem and the Insane Clown Posse were having their little beef there, they showed a clip that's definitely not in the DVD. It's Eminem and this blow up doll saying, "Yes, everything is cool between us and ICP," and then he does something with this blow up doll.
Yeah, I love that. That right there, exactly what you were just talking about. That is what made me a fan of ICP, because I was like, I had to have been 4 or 5 watching that, which is kind of terrible, I know. But I was watching that, and I went to my dad, and I'm like, who are these ICP dudes Eminem keeps talking about? And my dad had a Twisted CD. I don't know if you know who Twisted is, but Twisted is actually who signed Bizarre and did that remaster I was just talking about. But he had a Twisted CD, and my dad doesn't really know hip hop like that. So he pulls out the Twisted CD, and he's all like, "This is ICP." And I'm like, me not knowing any better, I'm like, okay, cool. I started listening to Twisted thinking it was ICP, but ICP was on a few songs. But yeah, long story short, I became a Juggalo like not long after that. Like I'm still like a big fan of ICP.
Really? Well, that would have been a good excuse to use, because people kept asking you, "Oh, you can't be an Eminem fan and an ICP fan."
I hated that. That has always gotten on my nerves, like really bad. That. Like, how can you tell me I can't be a fan of somebody and not be a fan of somebody else? Like, bro, I don't have to hate ICP just because I fucking love Eminem, dude.
Nice. Okay, we have a good question here from one of the viewers. EK, who is your favorite rock artist?
My favorite rock artist, Serge Tankian from System of a Down, hands down.
No. Yes, and another.
Are you looking on YouTube?
Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And also one of the things that no audio or video footage exists at the moment of the time when Eminem did that song about his wife, and she just left the concert angrily.
Yeah, see, I always thought that was just Kim misinterpreting it, because I felt like he was doing the ICP skit, and she saw that and was like, "Oh my God, that's about me. I'm gonna go slit my wrist." Like, dude,
that's possible.
Because, like you said, there's no audio or video whatsoever of him doing that, so I kind of feel like she's bullshitting.
That's an interesting. That'd be a good possibility. Now, if maybe audio or video of it exists somewhere, but like deep in the vaults of somebody's collection.
That would be crazy.
Maybe Dr. Dre has it somewhere in the stash, but never to be seen again.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That'd be nice. And another thing, I believe I got this from a guy on Facebook. It's a Ukrainian or Russian or some country copy of Encore, still sealed. So. Oh, that's the special edition CDs. That's a good one.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff over here.
Oh, that's good. Do you have this one?
Oh no! I've seen that on Amazon. I never even watched it or anything. I've always wanted to buy that.
Well, you couldn't find it on. It's either on YouTube or Daily Motion. Might not be there anymore, but this was a good performance. This was recorded when Marshall was in the hospital, or well, no, not hospital, but like he started to go into rehab for the second time in 2005. So there was no Eminem on the video.
Yeah. Oh, I'm seeing comments now. Okay. Yeah. I was in the private chat.
Oh, you're in the private chat. No, you see the comments now.
Hey, shout out my little brother. He's in here.
He is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I see David.
All right, he just asked you favorite song of all time.
Ooh, that's a good one. Favorite song of all time. Oh, that's complex because I would have to think of an artist and then the song. I've literally never thought about that since I was like 8. But back then, my answer was Marshall Mathers by Eminem, but that's not it now.
Oh.
I feel like it's a System of a Down song. What's my favorite song of all time? Toxicity by System of a Down. That's my favorite song.
Yeah. Okay.
I love playing that song on the drums.
On the drums, yeah. Because I remember in your old Eminem collection video that's no longer up, you said you had the Marshall Mathers LP, and you said this is Eminem's best album, but this is the best album like ever.
Yeah. I still believe that. I still hold that album like higher than any album that exists on the face of the planet ever. Still.
Oh, that's good.
I have every version of it.
I should as well, yeah.
Like the original cover, the deluxe, and this one.
Oh yeah.
The other ones are in my car right now, though.
Yes. My first copy of that album was it was the censored version that I had to get on Walmart.com. So. And people used to make
I remember
fun
the censored version of MMLP.
Yeah, and people used to make fun of me for having the clean versions, and I'm like, well, I have both, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that was me. I would buy the clean version, and then I'd buy the explicit version later, and more often than not, I would give the clean version to one of my little cousins or something. That's what happened when Relapse came out. I was kind of forced to get the clean version.
Oh, well. Yeah, but the clean version of MMLP, it doesn't really do it justice because most of it is just the most vulgar shit ever.
Yeah, it's still got shit and bitch on it and
stuff. Well, it does have, and most of the cuss words are in there, but a lot of the stuff regarding violence and stuff like that, which most of the content on the album is that. So
I think the only thing as far as the violence that they edited out was like the word knife and the word gun, but all the other stuff they kept in.
Now, what we're still looking for is that the fully uncut versions of I'm Back and Marshall Mathers.
Same. I have an edited like not clean edited, but like somebody put let's see. Eminem did a performance of Marshall Mathers on the Farm Club
TV show. Yeah.
And I have a version where it's like the album version, but the part where he's on the second verse and he says Fred Gibson, blah blah blah. They pasted that on top of that little section, and it sounds weird, but it's there. Like, oh, fun fact. I don't know if I told you, but I got arrested a little over a year ago.
You did tell me that. Tell that. I was gonna get to that anyway. Why don't you tell the story?
Okay, so I told you the story. Okay.
Yeah.
The second cop, the cop that was in the passenger seat of the car that was arresting me. I noticed on his name tag it says M. Gibson, right? And I'm like, bro, please don't tell me your name is Mel. Like, I'm already fucking handcuffed. They found everything that they were gonna find and all that, and I cooperated completely. Like, I showed them where everything was. I didn't want to get in no extra trouble for that. But anyways, I got my hands behind me and all that, and I'm looking at his name tag, and I'm like, bro, please tell me your first name is Mel, because that would be the funniest shit ever. And we're talking about rap and all that, because cops will try to be asking you about your life story and all that shit if you're in trouble with them. So they're like, what do you do for money? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I used to do shows, but now I work here. And they're like, oh, shows, what do you do? I'm like, I rap. Well, who's your favorite rapper and all this and that? And I'm like, Eminem. And so the guy just basically starts hurling fun facts at me, and me being me, I'm just like, and he's all, yeah, he said, yeah, you know that song Marshall Mathers, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I have the uncensored version of that song, blah blah blah, which I don't, but I kind of do. But so he's all, yeah, Fred Gibson is my uncle, and I'm like, you're fucking joking right now, dude. Your uncle was Eminem's mom's lawyer while she was suing M for 10 million like 20 years ago. Yeah, that's my uncle. I'm like, you are lying, bro. You are lying. Like,
isn't that nice?
It was crazy. Like, and as far as me getting arrested and stuff, like, I feel like it was just because it was me and those cops were the cops, and they knew that I wasn't nobody doing anything like crazy or nothing. I just had a little bit of weed on me, right? So,
right. And don't worry, people that are watching, he's no criminal. He just had a little bit of.
No, I'm not out here hurting anybody or nothing.
Yes, and especially with the state, what's going on in the world today, you know.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. It was funny though because they took me to jail, and the whole time, like the whole ride to jail, they was listening to the Big Sean album that Eminem's on. I Decided, I think it's called. And I'm like, you got to play that No Favors, bro. You got to play the No Favors.
And they played it for you?
No, they were playing the songs on the radio, like Bounce Back and all that. I'm like, man, play No Favors. They made me freestyle for them in the back of the car. And I told them I would do it if they recorded me. And they was like, no, we can't do that. We're not going to do that. I'm like, man, come on, dude. Like, you know, I know at least one of you guys have a YouTube channel. And if not, you can post it on Facebook. Y'all will get some clout off of this. And they're like, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. So I freestyle for them anyway, just because they kept asking me to do it. Wow. And I spit a verse that I wrote like 6 years ago over a Joyner Lucas beat because that's all I could think of. I was getting arrested, bro. My mind was like in a million places at once.
Understandable, yeah.
I got a freestyle for those guys.
Hard to believe. I don't think you told me that part. You never told me that you had to freestyle for them.
I didn't have to. Like, I told them no a few different times, but they just kept asking me, so you sure you're not going to freestyle for us? And I'm like, I guess, bro.
Oh, that's funny. And how long were you in jail for, just for the record?
Just like 6 hours, like not even a full night.
Yeah,
I got arrested at 11:30 p.m. and got out around 4 in the morning.
Well, it was probably the good freestyle that got you off the hook. So,
I think it was my cooperation, to be honest. Like, I if I would have tried to BS them, it would have been so much worse for me.
Yeah,
I was literally just like, they were like, I smell weed on you. What do you got? And I'm like, yeah, I got this many grams. And they found it, and I was just like, okay, cool. Take me to jail. I know I'm going to jail.
Well, I can't blame you for that. Not at least.
I knew I was caught.
Oh, all right. We have another question from David. He said, what instruments do you like to play the most? I guess just drums.
Ooh. No. I really like drum. Like, drums is number one, right? Because that's what I've played. Oh, I see it now. I've played drums the longest, but I really like playing the piano. I try to dabble with the guitar, but I'm not. I just it's no. Yeah. It's a no. There's a few other like little random instruments that I like to play, but I can't really think of them off the top of my head right now.
You should get an accordion.
I used to play the accordion when I was like a toddler, but not like on some serious shit. Like
not seriously.
Those little toy accordions.
Just like one of those toy button accordions. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's interesting. That would be cool to learn the accordion though, because the keyboard and stuff, that's like the basics of it. You just got to know the timing. Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because when I'm out with friends and they say, and I told them to play Purple Pills, you know, and they're like, this is really good. What is this? And I'm like, dude, this is Eminem and his buddies 20 years ago, and they would have never known that.
I really love like the edited version of that song because they didn't just take out the swear words, they replaced them. I really like when they do that, like not them specifically, but artists in general. Like Dr. Dre used to do that back in the day. Have you ever heard the clean version of Nothing But a G Thing?
At least once.
Yeah, I like when people do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's better than having a whole bunch of silence.
Muted. Yeah. I don't like that.
That's dumb. And but as far as we know, no uncut version of "I'm Back" ever has existed. Not even.
Not that I know of. Oh, yeah. But here's a little juicy little nugget for you. Easy actually told me that he heard a version of "You Are the One" by D12, and it's got an Eminem verse on it. I'm like, bro, show it to me, or you're lying. But I know it exists. I've just never heard it. Like, it was released on a single, and I can't find the single.
Yeah, you can get that on. I know Discogs is a page for that, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, that's where I saw it. Yeah. They actually sell.
I don't know. I mean, you can see if anyone has a copy of their available on that site, but
that would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of the You Are the One. Not a big fan of that one, but I understand why. Now I do have a few. For those, if you're listening and you need some extra M&M items, I have. This is what I'm trying to sell. That's a real Slim Shady promo. Wait a second. I've got 2 stands, both with yellow sticker on it. Hold on.
I'm not sure if those are the same versions that I have. I'm not sure.
Well,
I know the real Slim Shady. I have a different version of the real Slim Shady.
Yeah. Because this only has the Stand Radio Edit, Guilty Conscience Radio version.
I know you saw this video. Yeah.
I remember that video you did.
That is my most viewed video, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It's got like 10K.
That's a good one. Now, do you happen to remember a guy named Eric Zacher?
Yeah. I was just talking to him like 10 minutes before this post. We were talking about G-Unit radio mixtapes. I never answered his question either.
Well, we used to have beef with him many, many years ago, and I think I got involved in it somehow, but whatever.
Yeah, because I meant to ask you, like, wasn't there a point in time, it was either in the beginning or like right after we started establishing like somewhat of dialogue, but I think I remember you made at least one video talking about me, didn't you?
I don't remember.
But yeah, Dorian was a part of that too, because Eric went straight at Dorian because he was like, Dorian's a carbon copy of EK. Like, they got similar mixtape titles and stuff. But
I remember Eric and his buddies, they did a version of Hit 'Em Up against you guys.
Yeah. And they never put out the full version.
How about, it said, this is the preview, we're going to put it later, but nothing.
Yeah. Never happened. Happened.
Funny
I like Eric, though.
Oh, that's good. Funny how juvenile rap beef has made us all together.
Yeah, I'm literally cool with everybody I've ever beefed with except the first guy that I ever beefed with, 4 Pounds from Chicago. I've never heard from him since our beef.
Well, that's crazy. Well, stuff like that, that's why my parents saw that and made me shut down my YouTube page. So they're like, what are you doing? You can't, no, you're too young for this shit. Turn it off.
What, like specifically the stuff pertaining to me and my beefs, or just beef in general?
Beef in general, they thought it was stupid and they didn't want me having. They didn't want me having anything to do with that. So
I would hate to be like the reason that you had to delete your first YouTube channel.
It was my fault too. I was being overreacting and getting involved too much. No, it wasn't your fault, but that's okay. How about that?
That's crazy. But yeah, I've literally talked to just about everybody except that one guy that I've had beef with, like within the past week. Like I've had a conversation with all those guys at least once within the past 7 days.
Well, that's good. You should send all those guys the link to this one and see if they remember who I am.
I'm sure Easy probably remembers who you are. He just, like I said, he's a troll. You can never get like a straight answer from him. He'll just be like, yeah, pubes. Like,
he's one of those.
Yeah.
Now I wanted. Oh yeah, I have a question on there from the chat.
what did you think? What happened not only this year but for the rest of your career? What's your dreams left? Well, um, I would like to have like a plaque, like a certified plaque, when it comes to like sales and streams and stuff like that. That'd be awesome. I have a commemorative plaque, but that's just for release. Like, congratulations, you dropped the fucking album. Here you go. Like, I have one of those.
I love that.
But I want to get back into performing, and if I do, like, I'm sure every musician, at least in America, but probably otherwise, like, has a dream of performing at MSG. And
Yeah.
even if I was an opener, I'd be happy with that. I don't even care about selling out, nothing like that, because that's a big ass place.
Right. That's interesting. Now, one guy I really wanted to join this just for the fun of it was what is his name now? It's not Scrooge Loose anymore, but what does he do nowadays?
I really like. That's a good question because he's always changing his name. Like, he used to live with me a couple of years ago, and we were kind of bouncing ideas off of each other and stuff like that. And then he walks in and tells me that he wants his name to be Shadow Black one day, and I was like, I really like that, but I don't think he ended up using that. I think he told me he didn't like that name, and he's still making music. Like, he's making a lot of music, but he's kind of like stuck in this little thing in his brain about like he wants to have like the music that's good enough before he starts releasing it, which I think it is. I've always thought that me and him was like, I always thought that he was slightly better than me as a musician or a rapper, really. But he's making really good beats now too, and then what sucks is I'm the only person that's heard this shit. I'm like, bruh, drop this.
That's interesting. Because I still have him added on Facebook, and I think I sent him the link to my review of Slim Shady LP. He just left me on red, but that's all right.
Yeah, he's, like I told you before, like, he's super introverted, like maybe even more than me, and that's like very high on the spectrum. But he just has a weird thing about people. Like, I do too. I have the same thing, but his is just kind of on a different scale than mine. Like, he's just like, bro, I don't want to waste my time with these dumbass people. No offense to you, not saying you're a dumbass person or nothing, but like, that's just how he looks at basically the general populace.
Really?
And me too, to an extent. Like, I don't like people.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, when he watches this, big hello to him.
Yeah. What's up, bro?
So, did you go to high school with him, or how do you?
I met him actually like around the time I first started rapping. Dog, you're fucking me up, bro. Stop scratching, bro. But I met him when I was in 3rd grade, and like, this is a weird analogy, but you know how like everybody talks about like love at first sight and stuff like that. Like, as soon as me and bro saw each other, it was like, you're my best friend, bro. You're my best friend now.
That's
I believe we were riding the same bus at the time, and I was 8. I think he was 9, maybe 10, and he either had on a Hatchet Man necklace. Like, we were both into ICP, like little ass kids, and we were little juggalos. So he's all like, "You like ICP?" I'm like, "You like ICP?" And then it was just like, we just became best friends.
We'll be best friends. How about that? No, I started listening to Eminem in like 6th grade, so that was that I wouldn't have.
Wow. It's weird because I'm always telling people like, I've literally listened to Eminem like all my life. Like, well, not excluding literally 1 year. Like, and I don't remember none of this, at least not like vividly or nothing. But I have the tiniest little memories. I don't know how familiar you are with Kid Rock's work, but Kid Rock put out an album in 1998 called Devil Without a Cause, and that was like his big album. Eminem is on that, but he's not listed anywhere. Like, he doesn't have any credits or nothing. The only thing that I could find was in the booklet. Kid Rock thanked Slim Shady, but it was a really good verse, though. I really liked the verse. It's on a song called "Fuck Off." I don't know if you ever heard that, but
I know what that is, but I never listened to it. I knew that they did something together.
Yeah, back in the day, like when we were playing that Kid Rock album and all that stuff, my mom would always skip that song as soon as she heard the intro. She'd be like, "Nah, I don't like this. It's too bad." But the damage was pretty much done. Like, I was like a year old when that album came out, so I would say I was like 1.5 to 2 whenever the first time I ever heard Eminem's voice. and then Slim Shady LP came out when I just turned 2.
Yeah.
And February 23rd, wasn't it? Yeah, so that was like a good month after I turned 2 years old, and that was kind of like all my dad was listening to. And whenever Marshall Mathers LP came out, I was just completely locked in on this guy. Like, I'm like, who is he? And a lot of his subject matter, like, I could relate to even back then, because I had a really weird childhood when it comes to like violence and all that stuff. Like, yeah.
Well, that wouldn't have been the case for me. And even when I started listening to it, I would never dream of listening to it with my parents around, because they would tell me to turn it off. So I just
dude, the Eminem show came out when I was like 5, right? And I got a copy of it, and my mom she listened to it in front of me, like basically sitting me down and being like you're not supposed to have this, because by that point my parents were divorced. So my dad would buy the CD from me, I'd bring it home, my mom would see it and she would hate it.
Okay.
So she was listening to the Eminem show. I think she was on Soldier, I believe, and
that's a good one.
He was talking about like whenever he pistol whips the guy, and
the skit of the guy who was with his wife.
Yeah, that too. But I'm talking about, like, I think on the 3rd verse of Soldier, when he's talking about like, listen to the sound of Kim and she looks on a cock. Like, I'm 5 years old in front of my mom listening to that, and she's like, "Are you serious right now?" Like,
no.
I think she broke the CD in front of me, like she snapped it in half.
Oh God.
But I ended up getting another one anyway, so it don't matter.
That's nice. And now, is it true that one of your singles, someone broke in your dad's truck and stole?
I remember him getting his whole truck stolen. I do remember that. I just can't remember what song you're talking about.
I think it was cleaning out my closet, because you said I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember my dad bought the Cleaning Out My Closet single before the album came out, and I remember hearing Stimulate for the first time, and I was like, dude, this is crazy. And but anyway, like around that time, we was living in the ghetto and all that stuff, and we was getting robbed a lot. And there was one day where I think we were all asleep when this happened, but we woke up, and basically the first thing my dad sees when he opens the front door is his window shattered and all of his CDs are gone. And I'm like, man, if they took the single, and they took the single, I was like, fuck.
Damn. How about that? Anyway, one of those. Okay. Now there's this one collector, you've probably heard of him. His YouTube page got taken down or something. Kevin Bow 202.
Kevin Bow.
You remember him?
Yeah. I like Kevin Bow. He's got another channel, but it's not doing nearly what it was. Like that when they took his channel down, like that was a big, not fail, but it was a big L for him, like huge.
I agree.
Like he's like Kevin Bow 202 was this, and now his new channel is like this, and he's making music now, and I don't really care for his music.
Right. Yeah. He seemed to have a lot of people against him, even when he had his YouTube page up.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why, because I used to like his videos, and he for the most part had all of his facts straight.
Yeah,
and I don't know why people wouldn't like him.
I think it's because people thought he was rather a douchebag when it came to doing business. And I bought a few CDs from him on eBay, but we never really interacted. I just bought the CD and leave positive feedback, and that was it. We never talked personally. But I know that there was someone told the story of how someone bought one of his own EPs from him on eBay, and the CD got broken in the mail. They left negative feedback, and Kevin went apeshit and reported them for being too young on eBay.
I did see one guy was beefing with Kevin Bow for the longest time, but I can't remember his name for the life of me at all. But I remember there was a guy making videos about that stuff. He had all kinds of screenshots of Kevin saying some crazy shit to his quote unquote fans, I guess clients you could call them. But yeah, his EP, I almost bought a copy of that because that was like his first, I think that was his first project as a rapper, right? So, but I just wanted to buy it to support him because, first project, it's not going to be amazing or nothing, but I feel like, or at least the latest stuff that I've heard from him,
I never bothered. I never bothered to listen to much of his stuff because when that came out, people were just like, "What? He's trying to rap now? He wants to be a musician? You're never gonna make it." I don't know.
Yeah, like before I heard the song, I was very optimistic about it. I'm like, bro, this guy listens to Eminem every day, like me, so I know he's got to have some bars. And it was like, nah,
Crazy.
not really.
And I know, if I remember, that he had every single Eminem CD and tape imaginable. He bought it and sold it like 2 times and got it all back.
Yeah. I remember he made some kind of video talking about that whole process, I believe. But and he made stupid money off of it too. Like, he made so much money. That man, I don't even think he ever had a job as long as he's been doing that, because he's been making so much money off of it.
Maybe so. I know he never went to college because of that. So.
Oh,
or
really?
he might have. I mean, I remember one of his videos saying, "Well, I started my eBay business when I was 11th or 12th grade, and it became such a success. I didn't have to go to college. I just did these videos all day long." But maybe he's done something these days since he's got time and no longer a YouTube page. But
I wouldn't mind having some kind of update on him, because it's been a few months since I've even seen any type of activity on his channel. But I might not be subscribed to the new one.
well, I don't know about that. He's still got a Facebook group called Kevin Bowes M&M Collectors Group. It's not as active as the main ones, but you might be in those. I'm not sure.
I was so jealous of him at one point. Like, this man's got everything. Which is shit I've never even heard of, dude. Like, damn.
I have no idea. And I remember in one video, it was like, okay, September of 2012, he did his first big collection video. Then in May of that next year, he only had like 7 CDs left on a desk. And he's like, "Hey guys, I almost sold all my shit, and look at this. Look at all this money I made." And then shows all fucking $1,000 worth of cash on the camera. Like, okay.
You ain't never gonna catch me doing that, no matter how much money I got. But I think I saw one of his videos in like 2015. Because, do you know what this is? If I show it to you, do you know what this is?
I know what that is on Master Secret. I don't have it, but I know what it is.
I found out that this existed in like 2015. I'm not sure if everybody, not everybody, but you know what I'm saying. If people knew about this before then, but the first person that I saw with a video of this in his hand was Kevin Bowe. So that's what made me like a fan of him.
And if some of those Unmastered Sequence tracks are on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember really liking the original version of Bad Meets Evil from that.
I really like the re-recorded version of Low Down Dirty.
But one thing I never bothered to get, because every time I saw, well, it just cost too much money, was the Soul Intent cassettes.
Yeah, same here. I don't even really like that EP that much, like to pay that much for it. No. Like, it is pretty much like a piece of history, but I'll show you what I got.
Please do. I like Biter Phobia, but everything on eBay is like $500, and I'm not gonna pay $500 for 2 songs.
No.
Hell no.
But I got this, and this isn't the same one from my old video that I was like, it's a legitimate fake copy. This is actually a real copy. See?
Yeah. I never got to have a real Slim Shady EP.
I got this for like, well, you know what people price this for, so I got it for like a low ball for that price. Like, I've seen like $1,500 and $500 and stuff like that. I got this for like $50-$60 maybe, and I was just willing to pay it.
I would have been willing to pay that much for that, but I never.
This too, I'm pretty sure that this was never officially pressed on CD, but
no, it was not.
Whoever actually had these made, it looks very legit.
Wait a sec.
And all the artwork is like very, very high quality and all that. Like, I can't even find this cover high quality on Google Images. So I'm like, did FBT do this?
I think they did.
It says 2016 on it. I don't know if you can see that.
2016. Okay.
So it looks like FBT might have pressed these up themselves, like for the 20th. Yeah, the 20th anniversary.
I believe that. Now I've seen. Hold on, I'm gonna share screen here. Now the Infinite reboot that I've seen is this one right here.
The remix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. They were supposed to do. Oh no, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that. I think that's got a bunch of bonus tracks on it too, don't they? Like radio freestyles or something like that.
I don't know. It only lists the 11 tracks on the thing.
No.
But no, I don't have any legit copies of Infinite. I have I burned a copy myself, but I put this cover on it. I printed this out and put it on my fake copy. Other than that, no.
Yeah. I got a bunch of mixtapes too. Have you ever I know that you know about this mixtape. It took me forever to find this.
I don't have that. Well,
it took me a long time. And here's some that I feel like maybe you don't know about.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever seen this? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is the first time Eminem and DJ Who Kid did something. This was pre 50 Cent signing to Shady.
Yeah, I have never
2001.
seen that. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. It's a Who Kid / Stretch Armstrong mixtape, and it's got the whole Everlast beef on it. And Eminem's making commentary on it too.
Oh, okay. That'd be nice.
I got both of the. Wait, no, this isn't that. I got the first Anger Management tour mixtape, like the one that Paul was holding up on the DVD.
Okay.
Took me forever to find this too. Ludacris is all over this. He's got a bunch of freestyles and they're fire. This is the one that basically chronicled the whole Benzino beef.
Yeah, I don't have that one. I don't have any of the beef mixtapes, but that's a good one.
This is like a really good mixtape. And this is another one I feel like you probably never even heard of before. I know you know who K-Slay is. Him and him used to do a lot of shit together, but I never even knew this existed until like a year ago.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that either.
And it's called Say What You Say. It's got a bunch of I'm assuming that this came out before the Eminem show did, because it's got a bunch of album tracks on it. And Eminem does a bunch of commentary on this one too, like a bunch of little skits here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you've seen this one. This is straight from the vault, all the leak stuff from 2011.
Yeah, I've seen that a couple times.
Relapse 2 shit.
Oh, hell.
It didn't take me that long to find that one. And the last mixtape I want to show is I got the Freestyle Annual.
Okay, I don't have that either. I've never seen. I may have seen that, but it doesn't ring a bell now.
I feel like you've probably heard everything that's on there. Like if you listen, I actually don't know, because I used to myself dive into as many Eminem freestyles as I could find, like the radio freestyles and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're anything like I was, you probably heard everything that's on that CD.
Okay. And I don't know if you've seen this, but MTV, one of their YouTube channels, they posted a video of Kurt Loder and Eminem from 21 years ago when he first.
Yeah. I saw that before they posted it. Like I saw the low quality version of that.
Oh, right. Still good though.
Wasn't that the same day that they recorded the freestyle with him and Proof in the car?
I think so.
Was that the same day?
Might have been. Probably was.
That was a good ass freestyle. Proof, man. Proof was a god, dude.
Do you know any?
I have his album too.
I don't have that either. No, but I've heard it. I like Proof.
That's a really good album.
I like Proof song "Girls with the Boom."
I like is it called Kurt Cobain or Cobain? Kurt Cobain. I like Girls with the Boom too, though. That's a really good song.
Yeah.
I think that was his single, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. It was. Yeah. Pretty eerie that Proof would do an album like that, given what would happen to him in just a short time.
And it wasn't even a full year before that. It wasn't even a full year. I remember the day Proof died, dude. I remember that exact day because I used to watch a show on BET called Rap City.
Right.
I remember as soon as I sat down and took off my book bag and all that stuff, I turned on the TV, Rap City came on, and it was like Proof just got shot and killed last night. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, this guy looks familiar. I'm not thinking anything Eminem related. The guy's not talking about Eminem at all. He waits until like the very end of the show to be like, yeah, we lost Proof yesterday. That was Eminem's right-hand man. And then he played a clip of the Purple Pills video. And I'm like, no, like that guy. I'm like, that's the guy from the Up and Smoke tour, bro. Fuck.
I believe that. I
was pissed.
I believe that.
I was so pissed.
Do you have any fun facts about Proof now?
Proof had them hands. I know that. Proof could fight.
Right.
Oh, here's a good one. His son's rapping now, and he's really, really good.
Right.
Nassan, I think his name is. It's weird. It's spelled weird with 2 A's. And but I saw he recently freestyled over Without Me and The Way I Am and did really good. Like he basically, you know how Eminem used to be like, Dre's locked in my closet and shit. Yeah. Proof's son was all like, yeah, I'm praying to my dad while Eminem's in the closet and stuff.
How about that? And I'm pretty sure Eminem is promoting the hell out of Proof's son, you know.
I've seen a few posts here and there, but I don't feel like the fans are really going to him. Like a lot of people that listen to Eminem, well, even back then, not even just now, but a lot of people listen to Eminem just for Eminem. Like people don't really pay attention to the members of D12, much less their offsprings.
Right. No, that's the same concept of the My Band song, which was funny.
Yeah, exactly.
There was something else. Okay. Oh, now here's a hot topic amongst Eminem fans: Encore or Relapse? Which was the bad album?
The bad album?
Yeah.
Well, that's. I always have this conversation with Bullet, because, and Raymond too, because he, well, both of them kind of have the same opinion. But as far as me, I'm gonna explain this like technically. Between both albums, there's an equal amount of songs on both albums that I dislike, and that's 2. But as far as the worst album, I would say I think I'm gonna go with Encore, because Encore, like 2003 to 2006, was like an era of Eminem where he would just like he wouldn't necessarily really have much of a flow. He would just like go on and on and on. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when he would start a sentence and then he would end it like in the middle of like 3 lines later, because he would just be and I'm like, bro, you are just talking. You are talking.
Yeah, but it's just a bunch of nonsense sometimes.
Yeah, pretty much. But that's not to say it's not a great album. I still love that album like a lot. But it's just sometimes I can't rock with it.
Yeah. Sometimes, maybe since I'm older, I'll have to go back and listen to both of those albums. But at the moment, I would probably I'd rather listen to Encore than Relapse on a Given Day. That's what I would say.
I feel like I know why. Because, like, I remember the first time I heard Relapse, and that was when it leaked, like a good month before it came out. Mm-hmm. And the first time I heard Insane, I was like, who let Eminem do this?
Yeah, I don't like that song. I like We Made You and at least a couple others.
Yeah.
But most of the songs on Relapse I didn't care for.
I'm like, you know, since he announced Recovery, I've just been pissed off that he never put out Relapse 2. I'm like, bro, I want that. I don't care what your mainstream audience wants. I'm your core, bro. I don't care.
How about that?
But if you want to talk about my least favorite Eminem album, it's neither Encore nor Relapse.
What would that be then? Oh, Monster Matters 2?
Didn't care for this album. Didn't care for this album at all. Really? Didn't care for it. He should have at least named it something different. I don't think it matched up with the name. Like, Rick Rubin, in my opinion, ruined that album, which is not something that is like normally said about that man. See, I was excited whenever Eminem announced that he was making an album with Rick Rubin, because I was thinking Jay-Z's Black Album. Like, that album is crazy. Top 5 album of all time, in my opinion. But then I heard this, and I was like, dude, it sounds like a bunch of Beastie Boys throwaways, remastered and slightly tweaked to Eminem standards. I feel like what happened was him, like M and Rick, probably sat down one day and was just chopping it up, like talking, having conversations about music. And Eminem, as you may know, he's like a huge fan of the Beastie Boys, which Rick Rubin was kind of essential in their career. So I feel like Eminem probably sat Rick Rubin down and fanboyed about the Beastie Boys for a long time. And so Rick's like, okay, interesting. So I'm going to just throw you a bunch of boom bap beats to sound like they're from the 80s, and we're going to do this album. Like, no, bro, no.
So you don't think it was worthy of being known as a sequel to the Marshall Mathers LP, which was the great album?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He called it a revisitation. I'm like, a
Not really.
revisitation of what? Like the samples, cool. Like you sampled some old songs, cool. But it's not a revisitation by any means, in my opinion. There's only a handful of songs that I even like, and this is the deluxe version, so I'm counting the deluxe tracks.
Okay.
Yeah, this album was like a no for me.
It's a no from me, dog. That's what it was. I think I only have one copy of that, and that was the normal explicit version because I didn't. At that time, I didn't really care to get every single copy that existed, unlike some other people. But
yeah, I'm kind of OCD about stuff like that. I have 3 versions of 50 Cent's Massacre. Like, I'm weird about that stuff sometimes.
Mm-hmm. I really like both Get Rich and the Massacre of 50 Cent.
Yeah, yeah. I really like Curtis, but a lot of people didn't like Curtis.
I don't think I ever got the time to listen to Curtis. So
the problem with 50 Cent is he's like in some ways kind of a one-trick pony. Like he only talks about 1, 2, 3 things, like money, sex, violence. Mm-hmm. By the 3rd album, that kind of gets a little stale. People don't really want to hear that much anymore. That's why 50's music fell off. Because he's still doing that. Like he's still rapping like he's in Jamaica, Queens, running from people trying to shoot him. Like 50, you are like almost a billionaire, bro. Like you are a multimillionaire. Stop rapping about the hood, bro. Or not stop completely, but stop acting like you're still in the hood.
Yeah. Obviously not. And a lot of these, a lot of rappers, once they hit the age of 40, they venture into other different careers and not just music. Yeah.
Which to most of them, like, I really like what Ice-T's been doing. I really like what Ice Cube's been doing. Damn, that's crazy that those are the only 2 names that I can immediately think of. But
Snoop Dogg doesn't do that much rapping anymore. He does like.
I still like his new albums though. Like he dropped an album called Never Left. That's a good album. That's like Snoop is actually still putting out quality music, and I feel like it's because he's getting a bunch of young people in his circle all the time. Like, bro, I remember whenever Nipsey got shot, the first thing I thought is, man, Snoop's gonna be pissed when he finds out about that if he hadn't already. Because I remember watching the NWA movie when it came out, Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, whenever they make Snoop's movie, they gotta make Nipsey Hussle play Snoop. Like, if Nipsey don't play Snoop, I'm gonna be mad. And then not Snoop, but Nipsey got killed. And I'm like, man, are you serious? This is why we can't have nice things.
And hard to believe that you might know this or not, but ever heard that song Peanut Butter Jelly Time?
Yeah.
The guy who sang that is Snoop Dogg's brother-in-law, and he died during an 11-hour police standoff.
Damn. That's crazy.
Yeah. Look, this is real. I'm not making this up. Look up Peanut Butter Jelly Time. The guy who wrote it, he had crazy.
I'm going to write that down because I don't want to mess up my Wi-Fi right now and be all pixelated.
That's fine. But
it's been like years since I've even thought about that song.
Yeah. Most people just think it's a meme, but there's a real tragic, well, not tragic, but dark story behind it.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that, to be honest with you. Like, I'm normally a walking encyclopedia of hip hop, but I didn't know that.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, but nowadays Snoop is hosting. I don't know if it got canceled or not, but he hosted a game show on The Joker's Wild.
I've heard of that, but I never saw it. LL. That's who I was trying to think of. LL Cool J. He's killing it.
What is he? Is he still? What's he doing?
He's last time I saw him, he was on a talk show. I can't. It was either Killer Karaoke. No, that was Steve-O. Steve-O was Killer Karaoke. LL was on Don't Forget the Lyrics, I believe. One of those shows. It was fairly recent.
Oh, okay. Yes. Now, Well, Snoop Dogg hosted a version of The Joker's Wild on TBS. I don't know if it's still on or anymore, but a lot of the questions were about marijuana and things that Snoop likes, and so that was interesting.
I love how Snoop is like so, lack of a better term, powerful, that he's literally on every type of genre of entertainment you can think of. Like, he's in kids movies, he's in adult movies, he's in stuff that you could watch with the family, like not necessarily kid stuff, but like family friendly stuff. And
yeah,
and then he's got a whole nother facade about him that a lot of people don't even pay attention to.
Right.
And then there's the behind the scenes Snoop, like he's a football coach and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, another notable rapper that's like not really rapping like that no more, Bun B. He's a professor at some university in Texas.
I had no idea.
Yeah, he's doing good things.
Oh, that's great. Rappers can do good things, ladies and gentlemen, despite what you may think.
Facts.
Oh, really? Okay, so this is one of Chamillionaire's buddies, right? Bun B.
Well, that's not what he's known for. He's known for Underground Kings. Have you ever heard the name Pimp C?
Yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah, him and Bun B were like, they came up together a long time ago, like way before Chamillionaire was even like anybody knew who he was. Like in the early 90s, I want to say. They kind of the whole Southern style that you hear, that with the slow flows and how people like to chop and screw things, make the song slower and all that, rapping about lean and all that. Like they kind of started that. Like when you hear people like 3 6 Mafia and stuff like that, like their little sound and stuff, and how they got a signature sound that's kind of like it's simple, but it's also very dark sounding. Like that's kind of that was arguably started by UGK.
No, that's interesting. If I was to ever see Chamillionaire, I'd be so starstruck.
Yeah, me too. He's actually like a really smart guy. Like he's really smart.
Yeah, he's more of a businessman these days.
Yeah. Then that reminds me of Akon too. Like I really like what Akon does, because people are like, whatever happened to Akon? And I'm like, bro, just do some research. You'll find out he does not give a fuck about no music right now.
That's interesting. Now, when I noticed you left a comment on my last thing, tell us, what do you like about Press Your Luck?
Kelly and them?
Yeah.
I saw that meme that you played on the interview, like on my Instagram one day, and I didn't even really think nothing of it. I was just like, this kid's funny. I think I might be following him. Is it two guys or is it just the one guy?
It was well,
I'm really not that.
It was him and his friend, but yeah, it was just
okay,
Kelly and his friend George.
Yeah, because like I was watching the interview and I was thinking like, I don't know who this guy is, but then you pulled up that meme and I was like, oh, I saw that. Like that was interesting.
Great.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah, because we have to get because most of my subscribers, they're not going to be used to something like this, but it is something new, so we'll have to put in a little bit of talk about game shows, of course.
Yeah, that was pretty cool though, because the whole time I'm going through it and I'm like, who is this? Is this some of Daddy's like friends or something that got some clout? And then you played that and I'm like, oh, that's who that guy is. He's funny.
Yeah. How about that?
What's his name? Kelly's World?
Kelly's Weather is his,
Kelly's Weather, yeah. Shout out to that guy.
Yeah, if he's watching. Okay. So if I guess one of my last questions is, if people want to buy your albums, what should they do? Should they contact you on YouTube or what?
There's like little options to buy physical copies on Bandcamp and stuff like that, but well, I was gonna say CD Baby, but you said that they don't do that no more. Yeah, Bandcamp, I guess. If it's not there, Google it. I'm sure you'll find it.
Okay. Well, we've got an hour and almost an hour and a half. I think we'll wrap it up. Remember to subscribe to EK's YouTube page and check out his music and whatever else you can. Shout out to all of his friends, Raymond, Dorian, or whatever his name is now.
Shout out to too, because he's been a soldier for the past 5 years. He's been like in Germany and all that. He's been going all over the place.
Wait,
he
who
hasn't really
has?
been DPM in my music. Like his
Okay,
name has always
that.
been DPM.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's been in a lot of my videos too.
Because I don't. Do you still have the EKWesco skits page?
It exists, but the only reason the only reason it still exists is because I don't have the password to it, and if I did, I would go in and delete the whole channel.
Okay, because
But
you guys did a really funny skit of when white people should say the N-word many years ago, right?
Damn, I did.
Yeah. It was really funny. It was mostly him. It was mostly him talking, but I remember that when you said DPM, I was like, okay, I think I remember that guy.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, that was funny. That was funny.
Yes. And do you normally do stuff on YouTube anymore, or is it usually on another place?
I'm trying to come back to YouTube and do like, my old type stuff as far as the reviews and the unboxings go. I just wanted a decent enough camera. Like that's really been the whole dilemma of this thing, is me being not really having a presence on YouTube anymore. I don't have a camera that I feel is worthy to record videos anymore. So I've just been focusing on the music mostly. But I have a camera on the way. It's coming. I'm gonna jump back into the album reviews, and they're not gonna be cringe. I promise.
And if you ever want me to join in one, I'd be happy to. So.
Oh yeah. Because you got some knowledge that you could drop on people's faces.
Right. Okay. Well, that's the end of the show. Thanks again to EK for doing this interview with me. And
I had fun. I had fun.
I had a lot of fun too. And okay, I'm Gamester Fan 2001. We'll see you next time. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Peace.